Maximize picture. Hello and welcome to Talking with Famous People. My name is host Eric, and I am here on GoToMeeting with somebody from another country. I don't know his name. It says here waiting for name. I have a theory that it's a person I invited to come speak with me when I left it in a comment because I was excited to talk to him. Are you that person?
Yeah, I am. Yeah,
You're
EccentricM.
EccentricM. Very nice to meet you, EccentricM.
Hi.
Uh, and you self-identify as an ENFP.
Mm.
And in that video, I said you guys were tragic, didn't I? I think I did.
Yeah, yeah.
What did? Were you offended about that or something?
No, I accepted it because I thought, depending on someone's perception, it could be tragic to you, but we're all our own viewpoints.
It felt that way to me because the last ENFP, the last ENFP I dealt with, it felt a little tragic to me. I don't know. It's just like that's what I said right then. It doesn't necessarily represent a position I hold.
Yeah.
So why? What? So do you? Would you say that in off the internet in real life that people view you as eccentric, or is this something that you
Um,
manifest more online?
it's it's kind of mixed because I'd say in real life as well, because I'm kind of think that of myself when I'm alone, even when I'm not socializing, just because I have a very scattered mind all over the place and constantly next thing, you kind of think to yourself, do I have ADHD? And things like
Hmm.
that. But yeah, I guess I'm pretty. People have considered me zany, not completely out there, but one person even asked if I, had something like ADHD or something like that. But I was just very expressive, really, and not shy about being myself out there.
Well, I have a theory that ADD or ADHD is just uh, a medicalization of ENTP or ENFP
Right.
because basically that's what it's describing. These
Mm.
people, they they're not their timing belt um, regarding projects and doing stuff is off in some way. Like for me, anyway, I'm never quite
Yeah.
sure how long something's going to take, or I think it's going to take less time than it does. Do you find that to be the case as well?
I suppose so. I'm often procrastinating, thinking I have more time for things, and then all of a sudden, oh, and things like that all the time. Or I don't tend to plan things a lot. I kind of do it off a whim, and I guess that's a P thing. But yeah,
Do you try to set up stuff like group stuff?
um, sometimes, but not all the time. I guess that would be it depends because how my health has been for the last few years. Because I've suffered from anxiety and agoraphobia. So while I would have been a socialized person going out, hey, but it's kind of ironic how you want to be that person, but when you go out, the condition of panic attacks and constant anxiety kind of denies you of your own natural functions.
Can you explain if were those contextually triggered? Were they? Uh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, it's really strange because it took me a while to figure it out in myself because I didn't understand what was going on. And basically, all I have is a fear of my own symptoms, so fear of fear. And that came about when I was 18, when I was at college, and obviously at the time I was stressed. Um, for the work I was having, but not realizing the effect it was having upon me, causing my anxiety, panic, and all that when I was ill when I went to college. And I left that, but of course, even though the trigger had gone, I didn't realize my new trigger was the fear of panic itself, which I had for a few years. Only just now, really getting a grasp on overcoming it. Um, so it's mainly that. Your mind can be very busy and create triggers because you've associated a fear with that feeling.
Um, it's interesting. It's really interesting. The the thing about the initial stressor, to me, it sounds something along the lines of a phenomenon that I believe happens with certain types, which is uh, like caged animal syndrome,
Mm.
whereby we're taken when we're young and we're caged too much,
Yeah.
and we're expected to behave according to norms that don't fit well with us because
Mm.
yeah, the whole. Here's a perfect example from my perspective, and see if you tell me if it resonates with you. I just cannot do at all medium to long term incentives, goals, things like that. So when my parents would say something like, "Well, if you get straight A's this semester, or you get most of the A's but just like one B, then we'll give you $500 or something,"
Mm.
if it was, they didn't ever really give me that much, except maybe 1 year in high school where they really wanted me to excel or something to get into college.
Mm.
But anyway, I never was able to meet those criteria because if I did,
Yeah.
it would have nothing to do with the fact that there was the incentive. It would just be a happenstance
Yeah.
occurrence.
It would it would just be for someone offering you something, but not really what you want to do. So, say I only get interested in things or have an incentive, as you say, when it's something for you, not because it's systematic.
You mean you want individuated,
Yeah.
right? I don't like standardized shit either.
Mm.
I was talking to another ENTP the other day. I think it was Tiffany, and they said that um, that I lost my train of thought here. Something
No,
along
I can
something similar to what you said, but I don't know. But maybe it'll come back to me. So I don't know a lot of ENFPs, but I've spoken with several of them. Uh, I have one childhood friend. She's very happy, and it's primarily because she's well taken care of and gets to play all the time. But
yeah,
her responsibilities are familial. They're not like work.
I can understand that because we tend to like to mix work with play all the time. Because if it's just too much work for the sake of work, then it becomes, what's the point to us? I say, well, or me, I should say. I shouldn't say us and stereotype all ENFPs. But yeah, I
Yeah,
understand that.
yeah. I feel the same way though. And I do think it is generally true, to the sense that the cognitive functions are predictive of likely manifestations of individual people and predictive of certain behaviors. I think it's probably very true that both
Mm.
ENFPs and ENTPs want to try to mix as much work and fun together as possible, as fun into their work as possible, or to
Mm.
work as something they find fun as much as
Yeah.
possible. There are certain tasks that are not that difficult that it takes me sometimes weeks or even months to get around to do, and
Yeah.
it might cause me 50 instances of little harm before I finally get around to fixing the niggling problem.
Yeah.
I'm assuming
Mm. Like,
you have similar experiences with
yeah,
small
similar things,
problems.
I suppose. It's like it's something so minute, it kind of almost you forget about it or it escapes your attention because you're so enveloped in the things that you are really into, like what you're passionate for or you're interested in. It's like, I am doing all this, I'll do that later, the
Right.
non-important things, and then
Later.
mm,
That pesky later. It causes me so many problems. I have an example. My one good example at my house is the gate. The gate was broken
right,
for a long time. Okay, I went out to fix the gate one day, and I had a good solution in mind. I was going to do it. My ex-wife at the time, not yet my ex-wife,
mm,
came out and didn't like my solution because it wasn't going to look pretty enough at the end. and prevented me from completing my solution. And then,
Mm.
we got divorced. She moved out. It took me like 6 months to get around to finally fixing the gate again. And in the interim time, I'd have to lean a pole against it to keep it closed when I came in, and then reach over the gate and take the pole away to open the gate when I came back in.
Right.
That's a big fucking hassle. I did that for like 6 months before I fixed the gate.
Yeah. I had a similar experience. I accidentally knocked a shelf off the wall going past it. Um, and of course I said, "Oh yeah, I'll put it back up later on." And later ended up being like a few months.
Yeah.
um, yeah.
You walk past it, you gotta look at it, you go, I remember when
Yeah.
I knocked that down. That was a while ago now. I just took down the Christmas lights. Literally, I put up a
Yeah.
video like 2 days ago. I just took down the Christmas lights. I moved them in here. I was happy. I was stoked. I was like, yeah, look at me being
Yeah.
responsible.
And then you start justifying it. Well, I kind of like the look of it anyway.
I didn't justify the Christmas lights. I just thought, well, there's no harm, no foul. It's like, that's why I left the
Mm.
Christmas lights up. It's not a big deal.
Mm.
But I'm happy to have them in here. They provide a little bit more lighting. I think it might be a little too bright in this video. I'm not
Mm.
sure. It's hard for me to get the lighting perfect. So you are apparently from England, am I correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you like
Yeah.
to? I don't know how much information, however little or much information you feel comfortable sharing, of course.
I
Uh,
do not mind.
but can you tell us what part of England you're from?
From the Midlands, Staffordshire, smack bang in the middle of the country.
Did you say Snapchat?
Smack bang
Oh, smack
in the
bang.
middle. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, smack bang in the middle of the country. Right on. Well, I've been to England once, and I got robbed there
Oh,
in London.
sorry about that.
It's okay. I'm pretty sure it wasn't you.
Yeah.
It was some swarthy, like, either like, I don't know, Greek or like Turkish looking guys.
Mm. Oh, so like other people visiting and you clash.
I didn't find the English very friendly, to be honest. I guess I wasn't very good at socializing. I was pretty young when I was in England. I was like maybe 20, and I didn't find the English very friendly in England, which is funny because I always find them really friendly in America. I really every time either English people in America, English guys when they come to America, they're just like, oh, so this is like Islamic heaven, huh? Where they're just like
Hmm.
because American chicks cannot, they don't know what to do with themselves when they hear people with British accent talk.
Yeah. Yeah. I've come across that because I had a girlfriend in the past who was Canadian, and the first
Hmm.
thing she noticed was the accent. So that was easy pickings.
Now, as an ENFP, describe to me how your one-on-one relationships are like. Because it seems to
Um.
me you're such a social type. How does that manifest with intimate relationships, with one-on-one relationships?
I really like one-on-one relationships. It's something I find pretty important to myself because there's a lot of stuff going around about ENFPs can't hold on to a partner and they move on, or they cheat or things like that. And for me, I've never personally felt like that. I've been very consistent with my partners, but perhaps it's to do with my upbringing and like religious upbringing. So stick to a partner and be faithful and all that. So that could play a part as well. But yeah,
I've not heard that about infidelity or cheating
no,
and ENFPs. I haven't heard it, but I can see why people might make that assumption. But
mm,
I would think that would be most likely to correlate with ESTP males
mm,
and possibly ISFP females because they're the least resistant to predation.
mm,
But it's interesting that people would think they would be ENFPs. Yeah, I haven't heard that. If people think that, I mean, look, I don't think that unethical behavior correlates with any type. I think that
Right.
unethicalness manifests as X with this type or Y as that type,
Mm.
maybe, but even then, it's a stretch
Yeah.
because it tends to is you can't people are not going to make that fine of a distinction when they hear you say that.
Yeah. Because it's like its functions are like strengths and weaknesses and leanings to certain personality, um, you know, things like that, but not necessarily, as you say, ethical belief and the ability to be good or bad or however you might want to phrase it.
I will say this: I think that T DOMs and F DOMs experience, I mean, or T's and F's above, T above F and F above T experience ethics somewhat differently in a practical sense, which is the T's will tend to, if they think they did something wrong and they're feeling guilty and they want to sort of confirm for
Yeah,
themselves that they did something wrong and feeling guilty, they'll check for consistency with facts and models and stuff like that to make sure that they are. Basically, for me, what I would do is say, where am I going to lose this argument? you know, and feelers. And if I determine I'm right, I'm not going to feel bad about it or think I did anything wrong. Feelers,
mm,
if on the other hand, it doesn't really matter quite so much the consistency part, but if they know that somebody feels really hurt from what happened, then it won't
yeah,
matter if they were technically right or not. They'll still feel as though they did something unethical.
yeah. It's like you can feel the other person's pain. There's a high empathy going on. And it's as you say, it's very introverted feeling, as you say.
Yeah, I,
Is the best way to put it.
I don't feel like I have a good grasp on it. Obviously,
Yeah,
I don't know. I know what it is
yeah. You can
as
read about
physical
it.
things. I know it's crying, it's laughing.
Yeah, but when you can't experience it, then obviously you won't be able to empathise with it. You can just read about it,
Well,
and
I
then
mean,
if you don't experience it,
don't get me wrong. I am not non-empathetic. I am highly
you're not you're
empathetic.
not you're not a robot. Yeah.
No, I'm highly empathetic. In fact, when there's a lot, I burst into tears all the time, and it's usually not about myself. It's almost always about I see a story about somebody getting hurt, or I think I was making a video. I started talking about my cat and how I had to get her when
Yeah.
she was a little baby before she was weaned properly, and I started crying. That's empathy. It's not a lack of
Yeah.
empathy. It's just that's not going to be a determining factor in my guilt, right?
Mm,
The determining factor in my
right.
guilt is going to be who's right and wrong. If I was wrong, if I was in the wrong and I did something that was unethical according to my models and everything, then I'm going to feel guilty. Feelings
Mm,
follow rationalization rather than the other way around for the T's versus the F's. But I think either testing mechanism is a perfectly valid way to determine um, personal culpability. If you say I'm gonna frame this round through if people got genuinely hurt, then that's enough for me. I know that I did something wrong. I shouldn't be genuinely hurting people, right?
mm,
I think it's perfectly valid.
mm.
So, can you tell us anything about your interests, hobbies, stuff like that? Stuff you like to do, stuff you're good at, stuff you're bad at? Give us a little bit of
Um,
color about your
yeah, it's
life.
it's pretty wide. I guess I've written this down so many times it becomes just a list to explain to people. Um, I guess I've always liked mainly martial arts, dance, history, culture, music, so on. Um, Artistic things and the arts, things of that nature. Things that I'm bad at. I'd say things that require, mathematical type stuff. I'm terrible at maths, really, really bad at even basic things. Um, Things like that, and of course, as you say, staying orderly and not procrastinating. That's a difficulty.
Yeah. What would you, to the extent that you have creative impulses or endeavors, where do you think your talents most naturally lie? visual arts, writing, music, something like comedy, or there's a lot of
Um,
possible things. Where do you think they lie?
it's a mixture. I mean, people have said I'm funny on the spot, but I'm not good at coming up with material per se. It seems to be more improvisational. Um, and I do a lot of writing, so I'd say definitely writing a lot as well.
Yeah, well, ENFPs are famously good writers.
Hmm.
Heidi Prevey is an example of an ENFP writer who's really clean. I like her. I like her writing style. She's really good, and that just proves right there that it's the NE, it's the intuition that's where
Yeah.
the natural sort of fluidity and capacity for language comes from. It's not the TI.
Right. Yes, it's really interesting that because you would easily think, oh, TI must mean clever, it must mean, oh, he can write about loads of things. But it's, yeah.
Right, because well, I think the reason for this is twofold. But most importantly, when it comes to language, it is about it's an auditory thing. The written
Hmm.
word follows from spoken conversation, communication, and so there is a natural kind of cadence to the language, cadence to sentence patterns that are how a thing ought to be, so to speak, or at least it feels that way intuitively. That's what's true, such that we can feel the forms of language. So when you hear a person who's capable of producing prose that doesn't jar you as it goes along with bits of
Hmm.
wrongness here and there, then you recognize that and it feels right and it feels clean and everything. The intuition part is the thing that tells you whether something's right and clean or not right
Hmm.
and wrong and dirty. And so that's why NE DOMs. But see, here's the thing: NI DOMs are not necessarily great writers,
Hmm.
and I think it's because it's visual, right? Language is auditory, and NI correlates more strongly with visual. The Are you good at music? Do you have good pitch?
Hmm.
Do you have good pitch? Are you good at music?
Not performing, but I think I'd have I could, if I have, what's the word I'm looking for?
You have a good ear.
Um, Not good at music, but possibly could be if I worked at it. If
So
you get what
I
I'm trying to say.
so you have good pitch then. 'Cause that's really the thing. Look, pitch is musical intelligence.
Hmm.
So if you're able to like hear an interval and duplicate it exactly,
Yeah.
like then that means you pick it up right away. So if I go
Hmm.
like, can you repeat this melodic phrase? Da da da. And then
Da da da. Yeah.
if you can match the tones, then that means your pitch is probably
Yeah.
right. If you can match the intervals, it's right. Then you'll probably be naturally good at it. So yeah, you should if you think you might be interested in music, you should definitely try to get an instrument and play it because
Yeah.
that improvisational skill it's implicit to who we are really comes in handy in music.
Yeah.
Is there any particular topic that you would like to discuss on this video before we stop it, or do you want to talk a little bit about possible topics that we could discuss if you'd like to continue discussing that sort of thing before we end this video?
You know, to say I'm good at improvising, I'm kind of stuck now. um, I can't think of anything right now, but um,
Let me ask you, what sort of do you study do you like research MBTI stuff a lot in general?
if if I research just in general, do I research stuff?
No, the
Yeah.
cognitive function stuff.
Yeah, I do. I do. Now and again. It's not constant, but I've read a lot about it. So,
Okay. What else have you read a lot about?
um, is in cognitive stuff or just in general?
Anything. British politics.
Um, I'd say it depends on my interests at the time and what I'm into, and because there's a lot of things I could talk about, but
What's been a
it's kind
recent
of
phase? Give me a recent phase you've gone through.
I'd say it's what I've already mentioned in my hobbies and things like martial arts and all of that and the dance stuff, but definitely a martial arts stuff right now, traditional Chinese martial arts. So it's
All right, let me ask you some
the
questions
culture as
about
well.
that. Let me ask you some questions about that in a separate video. Let's do a distinct video just on famous person, Eccentric M's understanding of martial arts as an ENFP. Okay, let's do that video. Right? Yeah.
Right.
All right, cool. I'm gonna stop this one. We'll start that one.